heard from a lot of you about our segment last night on Michigan State University and the sexual harassment charges leveled at their head football coach, Mel Tucker. A university hearing will decide the matter October 4th, but Tucker says Michigan State is going to run a kangaroo court, and he may have a point. From his statement, the sham hearing scheduled for October 5th through 6th is ridiculously flawed and not designed to arrive at the truth. For example, in this Zoom hearing, neither Miss Tracy, meaning his accuser, nor any of her witnesses will be required to testify under oath or penalty of perjury. We cannot offer or present any substantive evidence of innocence, and there's no opening statement, closing argument, or any opportunity to explain our case. In the last administration, the last U.S. administration, presidential administration, Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos fought to level the playing field when it comes to he said, she said situations on college campuses. The Department of Education recognized that the accused were often not given due process in their investigations. So they enacted new regulations, giving the accused the ability to question evidence, call witnesses, cross-examine their accusers, sort of like a fair hearing. But of course, the Biden administration decided to roll that back and come up with a new set of regulations that civil libertarians found deeply troubling. Whether Mel Tucker sexually harassed a woman during steamy phone calls, or if it was just cheating on his wife with another consenting adult, is kind of beside the point right now. The real stories is the universities, like MSU, that preach equity and inclusion but ignore fairness. They preach diversity and then cover up sexual harassment allegations, but then change their mind once the press finds out. Criminal defense and college student defense lawyer Shan Wu is with us now. You sort of pioneered this idea of exposing how colleges handle so many of these situations. The hearing that Mel Tucker describes, if he's describing it accurately, that sounds an awful lot more like the Soviet Union than it does the United States.
Well, I don't know if I would go that far, but it does, assuming that he's accurate, and I don't know if he is or not, the schools really aren't set up to do court hearings or criminal-type investigations. It's kind of a hybrid function where they are trying to protect the safety of students, protect the integrity of their investigations, and try to be fair. They're just not set up to do that. There's been a lot of effort made to do that, but what you have in these situations is oftentimes an unfair, very oppressive situation for both the person who's bringing the complaint as well as for the person who may be accused of it. So that's a very big systematic problem, and it's really hard to try to correct that.
I think about the timeline of this. April 2022 phone call between Brenda Tracy and Mel Tucker takes place. They both agree on that. December, Brenda Tracy filed her complaint with MSU's Title IX office accusing Tucker of making sexual comments towards her. March, Mel Tucker was interviewed by an attorney and admitted to the behavior, words we will not use on television, but claimed it was consensual. July, the investigation concluded. October, the hearing scheduled. Sometime in this, the press found out about it, and then suddenly they went from allowing Mel Tucker to stay. Conceivably, they may have found these allegations to be unsubstantiated and allowed him to stay until this hearing with pay, and on and on and on. But I guess where I'm troubled, you said what the university is trying to protect all these different groups. You left out that they're sort of trying to protect their own image. And at least as I've gone through this case and others, it seems like that in protecting sort of their feeling and the cachet is above all.
I would agree with that. I think part of the problem that schools face is after decades of really burying this for the same reason, not wanting parents or anyone else to realize these types of assaults might happen, they've kind of now gone to the point of where they try and hide behind the process. But here, of course, it quite correctly was being kept confidential. And then once it's the press, they feel like they must take some action. I do want to say, Leland, for full disclosure for the viewers, I have represented Brenda Tracy, not in this matter. It was a matter unrelated to this, where she was being subjected to death threats and stalking. But I don't have any inside knowledge about this case. I'm looking at it really just purely from the outside and from my own experience in these types of investigations.
No, we appreciate the disclosure and your expertise as well. You're really one of, if not the world's leading expert on this and how these cases are handled in colleges. Hey, the hearing's coming up in October. We'll talk to you then, sir.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.